Oh, what's good, YouTube, man? It's Gary with Jump Fan TV, man. Back at you another video. Like the content of this video, go and smash that like button. Like the content of this channel, go over here, subscribe, man. Look, so back from vacation. Been like a week since I did a video. That's probably the longest I've gone since I actually started doing these videos. So happy to be back. Happy to start doing them again. So I guess my break coincided right with the Ravens break, right? So the Ravens had a bye week, and they pretty much had is about successful as a bye week as you could have without physically playing a football game, right? So I guess some of the things that we're going to talk about, get into, and yeah, man, let's get right into it. So the Steelers lost to the Cardinals 24-10, dropped to 7-5. The Browns lose to the Rams 36-19, dropped to 7-5 as well. So now the Ravens have an official 2-game lead up on the division, sitting at 9-3, right? 4-game lead over the Bengals, who have 5 wins. The Bengals play tonight. I think they play the Jaguars tonight. So that's big news right there, right? To start off right there, the AFC North look like the Ravens are going to win the division, right? You don't want to say things too early and things like that. I get that, but realistically, the Ravens have to get to 11, 12 wins. So win 3 more games, you probably have the division locked up. And where it's going, I can't see the other teams in the division catching up and zooming past, getting that kind of hot streak going, right? Especially when the most important fact is that now with Kenny Pickett's injury, we're not celebrating injuries. I hope he's okay. I think he had they said a high ankle sprain, ended up getting surgery on it. We'll see how long he's out. But he's definitely going to miss probably this game versus I think they have a Thursday game, another game after that. So he'll probably miss the next couple games for sure, right? But all 3 AFC North teams are now dealing with backup quarterbacks, right? So Mitchell Trubisky is playing for the Steelers. Jake Browning is playing for the Bengals. And obviously our guy, Joe Flacco, still very, very strange, but he is playing for the Cleveland Browns, right? It looked like he looked okay versus the Browns. I saw a touchdown pass he threw to Jerome Ford. I think he might have had 2 touchdowns on the day, threw for 200 plus yards. So shout out to Joe Flacco for still doing it. But shout out to him helping the Ravens still by help having the Browns lose that game, right? So that's big news for the Ravens, right? So when the Ravens have gone through that injury crisis with Lamar and guys like that, knock on wood, these guys stay healthy throughout the remainder of the year. Other teams have been able to take advantage and rise up, like the Bengals have been able to do. The Ravens are in the same boat now, right? These teams are dealing with the injury at the most important position. You got to take advantage and rise up and really slam the door shut on the division, right? And I think the Ravens are fully capable of doing that. And I expect them to do that over this last, stretch of the season, right? That's what I expect to happen, okay? So that's one thing right there. You're going to have the division locked up, which means you're going to have at least one home playoff game, right? That's a big advantage right there. So that's great, okay? Secondly, the Chiefs lose to the Packers last night, Sunday Night Football, 27-19. They dropped to 8-4. So now the Ravens truly control their own destiny, right? The Ravens win out. They have a very good shot at getting the 1 seed, right? Now I know who else is up there. That is the Miami Dolphins, right? In my opinion, I think Tyreek Hill is probably the MVP of the league just because of the numbers he's putting up. I would love to have Lamar up there, but Lamar is playing really, really well. But we got to look at the numbers too, right? Unfortunately, the MVP award is a very, very stat-driven kind of thing, so he's just not going to have the counting stats, even though Lamar is playing at an exceptionally high level. The counting stats are just probably not going to be there, right? But you got Tyreek Hill, could have 2,000 yards. I think he is probably, if you took him to the definition of most valuable player, yes, he usually goes to a quarterback, but Tyreek Hill's having that kind of season where it's like he has the opportunity to get it for somebody who's not a QB, right? Last person I think it was Adrian Peterson, right? So he's having that kind of impact on the Dolphins, right? But anyway, too long about the Dolphins, okay? So they're 9-3, just beat the Commanders, right? So the reason that's interesting is because now the Ravens and the Dolphins actually play later on this year. So that game could be, a deciding factor on who gets the 1 seed, right? So the Ravens have everything in the palm of their hands right now that they can do, right? So whether they finish 1 through 4, it's going to be completely up to them and how they finish out this season, right? And it's the kind of position where you want to be in, right? The worst is when you have those games at the end of the year where this team has to lose, and if they lose, then the other team has to win, and then you're going to have this. No, as simple as for the Ravens is you win, you get what you deserve, right? You get the 1 seed. That's simple as that for the Ravens, right? All you have to do is win, right? Coming up there, I believe they play the Rams next. So the Rams, as I just said, they just beat the Browns. The Rams are no slouch, especially with Matthew Stafford, their quarterback. They do a lot of good things on offense, and their defense plays hard. So it's like the Ravens are not going to have any really easy games coming down to the stretch of this end of the season. But if I could sit back and you would have told me at the beginning of the year, right, the Ravens will be 9-3 and control their own destiny into where they finish in between 1 and 4 in the playoffs, I would take that all day long, right? The goal is to make the playoffs, get a home playoff game, win that home playoff game, and continue to advance on in the playoffs, right? We know that win on the road in the playoffs is a very, very difficult thing, right? Now, even though the Ravens in the past made a living off of that, especially with Joe Flacco and guys like that, but if they had the choice, they would want to play those games at home in M&T Bank Stadium, right? Think about the Bengals game. Think about the impact that that the Ravens fans had on the Bengals in that game, right? Joe Burrow couldn't hear. He had to call multiple timeouts. Bengals had multiple false starts. That's the kind of environment you want to have for the playoffs, right? So, to me, having a home playoff game is very, very important. It increases your likelihood of advancing by a whole lot, right? So the Ravens right now had as about as successful as a bye week that you really could have, and then on top of that, guys are getting healthy. You will have to imagine, we'll see what happens this week before the injury reports. We'll talk about that in the videos, of course. But you have to imagine guys like Marlon Humphrey will be coming back. Certain players that were out, missed the Chargers game or missed a couple of games before will be coming back. Your Pepe Williams can make his season debut coming up. The Ravens have a lot of talented guys in the secondary already. They could be adding more to that, right? Guys who just have little injuries that was bothering them throughout the year, they got a week to recover, rest without anything strenuous happening to their body. That's amazing, right? So when you look at it from really all standpoints, right? The Ravens, the bye week really couldn't have gone any better for the Baltimore Ravens, right? So now when you come back into the building, it's all about the Rams and focusing up on having the potential to control your own destiny, do whatever you want to do, whatever you want to happen is in your hands, right? Nobody else can take that from you. Can't blame this person, that person. Oh, we needed this team to lose and they just didn't do it. Nah, man. With the Chiefs losing to the Packers, dropping to 8-4, and the Chiefs don't have a very, very I would say tough schedule to close out. So that was probably the game that was going to be the one that tripped them up, and it did trip them up, right? You are in complete control of whatever you want to happen next, right? So I'm very, very excited about that for the Ravens. I'm very much looking forward to the end of this season because this home stretch is going to tell us whether or not this Ravens team is contenders or pretenders. And I very much think so that this team is a very legit contender. I'm just waiting to see it happen on the field. So that's my thoughts on it, man. Obviously, guys, as always, give me your thoughts in the comments, man. I'll talk to you there, man. It's Gabriel, just on Fan TV. I'm out.